Thank you for joining us for another power-packed message from Dr. Myles Munroe, provided by Munroe Global Incorporated and MunroeGlobal.com. We transform followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. We hope that this message is a blessing to you as you advance your life and discover your purpose. Now, let's go into the message.
Leadership is obligated to mentor. So I want to really focus on what is the role of the mentee and the successor. What is the behavior that the mentee should exhibit in relationship with the mentor? First of all, a few thoughts, and we get into the practical application. Mentoring gives the mentored or the mentee, here's how you mentor. What does the mentee receive from the mentor? Write this down. 1, timely advice. When you're mentoring, the mentee have to accept the fact that the mentor will be giving him or her a lot of input. Timely means that at moments when the mentor thinks that this is a learning experience or a teaching moment, they would turn to the mentee and say something. Or they may give instruction, which would be timely advice. Secondly, the mentor will provide for the mentee materials like letters and articles and books and resources that the mentor is benefiting from. If you are a good mentor, you want to expose your mentee to the things that helped you. Those in my mentoring program will know that every month or most of the months they would get a list of books from me. Why? These are the books that I'm reading. So if you're part of my mentoring program, I want to make sure you read what I'm reading. If I find an article that's very helpful to me, I would send that article to you. If I have a CD or a program that's helping me, I would expose that to the mentee so he can know that this is what their mentor is gaining from. I want you to know what I know. So a mentee gives the mentor gives the mentee access to the resources that he or she is benefiting from. Number 3, finances. Sometimes the mentor will assist you financially. They're not obligated to. For example, they may buy a book for you. Or they may assist you in going to a certain environment with them and pay for it. Because if there is a commitment on the part of the mentee, the mentor will be encouraged to help you. Number 4, the mentor provides freedom to the mentee to emerge as a leader, even beyond the level of the mentor. The mentor wants the mentee to become greater. Remember that? That's the purpose. And so you want the mentee to exceed you, to excel beyond you. So you provide opportunities for that to happen. Many times I'd have a mentee with me in different places, and I would put them in the front of my audience. I would give them my microphone and tell them, you go ahead and talk to the people. Let me expose you to my market. I'm helping them to emerge so that what took me 30 years to arrive at, I can give them in 30 seconds. And this is the power of submission to a mentor. A mentor can change your life in a day. So it's important to have a mentor and be submissive to that mentor. They could save you a lifetime of trial and error. Number 5, the mentor models various aspects of leadership functions to the mentee. They show them how to lead in many different settings. You have heard Dr. Richard Pindler say that he observed me over 30 years and he watched how I led in so many different areas. That's what mentoring is about. You allow the mentee to see how you handle pressure, how you handle criticism, how you handle disappointment, how you handle abuse, how you handle misuse of your own self. How do you handle people who misuse you? They have to see you lead in the various settings of life. And number 6, the mentor directs the mentee to needed resources and opportunities for development. I might say to you, you should go to that seminar. And why I'm telling you that is because I know some things about that particular environment that as a mentee you will need. Or I might say, you should buy this book. Or you should maybe subscribe to that magazine. I'm telling you that because I know what it will do for you. So a mentee will direct the mentor will direct the mentee to different resources. Sometimes I would call a mentee and I'd say, I want you to go on this trip with me. And they'd say, why? It's because on this trip I'm going to be exposed to certain environments that I want that mentee to have access to. And so mentees provide opportunities. Mentors rather do. Number 7, the mentor will co-lead in opportunities to build confidence in the mentee. This is very important. Even in this organization, I have had the privilege of exposing many of our trustees to you. This platform is built really by my influence. And I provide access to this platform to people. I don't have to. But if you're going to mentor people, you have to co-lead. You don't want to hog everything. You want them to have a privileged opportunity to share in your market, to share in your exposure, to share in your influence. A mentor allows the mentee to co-lead. Give them opportunities to be in charge of things. You can be present just to watch and observe and to make sure that they learn through the process, but allow them freedom to share leadership. That's how you bring confidence to that person. Now I want to give you very quickly, and this is going to be fast, but it's going to be very, very practical. You won't be able to write everything, so just write the first line that's underlined. All right, I'm going to give you 12 principles of mentees, how the mentees should respond to the mentor. Number 1, the mentee must submit to the mentor. It is impossible to learn from someone if you don't submit to that person. It is like a class that doesn't accept the teacher's authority. You will never learn from a teacher whose authority you don't accept. So the first thing that a mentee must do is submit to the mentor. It doesn't mean that the mentor is smarter than you or greater than you. It's just that the mentor knows some things that you want to learn. So you submit. Principle number 2, the mentee must accept that the mentor is acting in the best interest of the mentee. This is very important because the mentee has to believe that whatever the mentor recommends or instructs or advises is in the mentee's best interest. You may receive an instruction from your mentor that doesn't make sense at the moment, or maybe even uncomfortable. But what they are doing is in your best interest. They know what you want to learn, and so they will provide strange moments for you. You've got to just believe what they say and carry out their instructions. A mentor will never set you up for destruction. They will set you up for development. So you got to trust their advice, their input, and their judgment. Number 3, The mentee must be willing to accept the mentor's counsel. This is very critical. You know, sometimes we claim we submit to someone and we still don't accept what they say. We don't take their advice. Don't waste my time, please, if you claim that I'm your mentor and you're not going to take my counsel. I will release you immediately. Because if you submit yourself to the teaching and the guidance of a mentor, the assumption is that you believe that that person has something you need. That's why you submit to them. So be submissive to their counsel. Again, it's because they have your interests at heart. Let me say one thing about mentors. Mentors don't want anything from you. Matter of fact, they didn't look for you. So if they give you advice, it's not because they're trying to get something from you. All right. Number 4, the mentee must never abuse the privileges offered by the mentor. Oh, help me. I'm going to repeat this one. The mentee must never abuse the privilege and opportunities offered by the mentor. In other words, a mentor will give you access to such things as his private contacts, his environment or his home or his private phone numbers or whatever. Please don't abuse those things. You go around and give people my private number without permission because you want to prove that you know me. This is abuse. To have my private phone number is a privilege for you. You're abusing the privilege. Or if I introduce you to one of my contacts who is very influential, and then you go behind my back and try to work out a deal with them privately, that's an abuse of my relationship. You never abuse the privileges offered by your mentee. You respect those privileges. I may give you access to head of a country because you happen to be with me, and I introduce you to the prime minister of a country. That doesn't mean that you are his friend. I'm his friend. So don't disrespect him and call him next week and say, hi, you know, I'm so and so. He doesn't know you. So don't abuse that privilege. That was a privilege that was offered by the mentee, by the mentor. Also, mentors will give you access to things that they are reading, or maybe access to their friendships or other relationships. Even their venues or their market may be given to you as a privilege, or even their audiences. You know, I would many times expose my mentees to television programs I'm on. I tell them, come on with me, sit down, talk. Or maybe let them meet my publishers, or maybe let them speak to 10,000 people for a few minutes. And I do that because I want to build their confidence and help them. But if you abuse that by saying, you know, you want to contact the host next time to invite you by yourself to come and speak next year, you are abusing my privilege. Access to my contacts is not to be abused. Very important. The mentee must be very cautious not to abuse any of the mentor's privileges. It took me 40 years to do what I'm doing, and I can give it to you in 40 seconds. But don't abuse it. I've known people who tell other people that I'm their friend, and they met me once in a church lobby somewhere and shook my hands. I don't know you. You're telling a lie. So don't abuse those kinds of opportunities. You know, you could tell a person, yes, I met that person. I met him. I shook his hand some time ago. But don't tell them I'm your personal friend and, you know, all this stuff, because it's not honest. And then if you are a mentee, you will get access to a person's life, to the mentor's life. He'll let you in. Please don't abuse that. Okay, number 6. Mentees must initiate pursuit of the mentor. This is very important. Listen, the mentor doesn't need you. You need the mentor. So you got to pursue the mentor. I only mentor people who chase me, and I stop and let them catch me. I remember Elisha, when he first met Elijah. He was so impressed with Elijah, all those miracles and stuff. And Elisha says, I want to follow you. And Elijah says, go back home. And he sent him home 3 times. And the 3rd time he came back, you know what he did? Elijah says, look, you don't understand. I want to serve you. I ain't going nowhere. He went home and burned his plow. He took his ox and barbecued it and gave it to everybody in the village. He sold his farm, packed his 1 bag, and went and found Elijah. He says, I ain't going nowhere. And Elijah says, now you can come with me. He pursued him. So if you want to be mentored by someone, you have to initiate the pursuit. You have to express your serious interest. The learner must not sit around waiting for the mentor to teach him or her to develop themselves. In other words, you also got to pursue what you want to learn from the mentor. If you claim that I am your mentor, then you got to prove it by your hunger. Ask questions. Because the mentor is usually very busy. So you got to pursue them. And sometimes you think they're even ignoring you. They're busy. What to do? Just follow them around and watch. Why? I got to pursue this person. I want to see how they handle pressure, how they handle people, how they handle all the stress. That's pursuing them. Because they ain't coming to you to teach you 5 points of how to handle stress. Mentoring is more by observation than by instruction. So you have to pursue the mentor. And that's what Elijah did. That's what the disciples did. They forsook their fishing business and they pursued Jesus and they followed him wherever he went. They slept with him and ate with him and went on the boats with him and they went to villages with him. They pursued him. They wanted to learn. Matter of fact, that's what the word disciple actually means. It means perpetual student. Write that down, disciple. It is not a religious word. It means perpetual student. It means someone who keeps on perpetuating their presence. They keep coming after you. The mentor will teach only those who are hungry for education. The one who wants to learn must pursue the mentor. All right, number 7. The mentee should harness the power of questions. What did I say? Say it out loud. The mentee should harness the power of questions. This is very important. If you are a mentee and you want to learn from a mentor, you must understand the power of questions. Nothing is more powerful as a tool for learning than asking questions. And do you know what's amazing? If you were to read the record of the New Testament 4 Gospels, you would be shocked to discover that more than 70% of the information given by Jesus Christ was a result of a question. See, a mentor is like a reservoir full of knowledge, information, experience, wisdom, all kind of wonderful, powerful stuff. And you need to suck it out of them. They don't just pour it on you. A question is like putting a hole in a dam. And the more questions you ask, the more holes you put in that dam filled with water. And if you ask enough questions, you could create a big crater that will bring a deluge of knowledge and wisdom upon you. You use questions to eat from the mentor. Here's something important. So good students, listen carefully, do not talk much in the presence of their mentor. You know, if you always yapping, talking, the mentor will become very irritated. He who speaks only learns what he knows. He who listens learns what the other man knows. Sometimes we are so determined to impress the mentor, we talk too much. When you want to learn from someone, you ask questions and then shut up. You want answers. Don't tell the mentor all the great things you're doing and how powerful you are and how anointed you are and what a good manager you are. You can't learn if you're talking. When a mentee is in the presence of a mentor, he or she must not speak much. They must force the mentor to talk. You know, whenever I'm in the presence of anyone that has great wisdom, I am a professional questioner. I remember when I first met Nelson Mandela. I mean, you don't meet those moments too often in your life. I met history. I didn't tell him who I was, where I was from, what I was doing. As far as I'm concerned, I just met a father and I'm a child. So I started my questions because I only had a short time. I have to learn a lot in a short time. I ain't got time to know what I know about me because I already know what I know about me. I got to find out what he knows that I don't know. So my questions became my power. And anytime I meet anyone, I start asking questions. A question automatically gives you the advantage of being the student. And so mentees ask questions. Number 8, and by the way, just a little point here. Invest personal resources in pursuit of your mentor. Listen, I got books out there, I got CDs out there, I got DVDs out there, I got a seminar coming up somewhere. Listen, if you're my mentee, I expect you to buy all those books. Because you need to know my mind, my heart, 40 years of my experiences in those books. When you buy a mentee's book, you're not buying a book, you're buying the person. Sometimes a mentee would ask me a question and I refuse to answer it. Why? Because the question has an answer in a book I wrote. I tell them, go read the book. Why? You're too lazy. You don't want to invest in your own development. Spend that $20 and you go invest in yourself. Always remember this, that the job of a teacher is never to give answers, but to stimulate the students to go find them themselves. Because nothing is yours until you understand it. So we need to understand the power of pursuit. If you want to learn from me, you should invest your time, your money, your resources in pursuit of the mentor. And any mentor you have, you got to pursue them and invest in your own life. Your mentor doesn't want your money, but they expect you to spend it on resources that they recommend to develop you. Number 8, the mentee must never compete with the mentor. Say it with me. The mentee must never compete with the mentor. This is a big one. This is a big problem. Some people say, well, I submit to you, and then they try to compete with me. Are you crazy? I remember one time Peter attempted to compete with Jesus. You all remember the story, how it ended. Christ was trying to tell them what he was planning to do, and Peter disagreed. And his response was, get out. You are full of the devil. If I'm your master, you don't compete with me. You know, it's like coming to a visionary and telling the visionary what kind of vision he should have. Wait a minute. You are the mentee. You're not in competition with your mentor. Here's the point. Competition with your mentor deals with motive. A mentee is one who wants to learn, not compete. A mentee is one who wants to become like his mentor in different aspects. He doesn't want to compete with him, Mentees want to benefit from the mentor's knowledge and experience. You don't want to compete with knowledge and experience. My mentors, I submit to them quickly. And if they give me advice, instruction, I say, okay, no problem, I'm willing. I'm ready to go. Why? I got to learn from you. And you never outgrow mentors. You must always be under somebody. The day you think you don't need a mentor, you are a threat to humanity. In essence, you cannot learn from someone when you are attempting to compete with them. A lot of people locally in the Bahamas don't know me well, and I think you heard the former Prime Minister last night say some things about me. I was very flattered, really. I was shocked that he said those things. But he personally said last night that we don't really realize who we have in this country. And what he's saying is, we as politicians need to come to this man and learn. Well, I can't teach a person who doesn't want to learn. I can't help a person who doesn't submit. And if you think you are all of that, I can't help you. So mentoring requires that you don't compete with the mentor. The mentee must be very aware that he is not in relationship with the mentor to compete, but to learn. I'm here to learn. This relationship is for me to become better. Words of Jesus, you didn't choose me, I chose you. What he meant is, I chose to help you. I chose to improve you. You pursued me, and I chose to respond. I wasn't looking for you. This is why he said many are called, but in the end, he got to choose. We have a mentoring program right out there, as a matter of fact, and I don't do this too often, but because we got a few hundred mentees already. But if you want to become a mentee of myself this week, go ahead and check it out. And it will cost you. It will cost you some money to invest in this program, because I'm giving you my life. And no money comes to me. Nothing of this comes to me. It all goes back to materials and equipment that we send back to you. So we are here because we want to help you succeed, not to compete with you. I've got people in my mentoring program who are 75 years old. They're old people. They realize that I got something that they need. So age is not even an issue. Peter was older than Jesus. So what's your problem? Maybe I know some things that you need to learn. Or maybe someone else in this room knows some things you need to learn. Submitting to a mentor is a smart decision. It's not a demeaning decision. It doesn't make you less, it makes you more. So mentorship is critical. Now, here's some thoughts about this point. Mentees must be very aware that he or she is not there to compete, but to learn. So keep in mind that the mentor does not gain any personal benefit from the mentoring process. When the mentor is mentoring, the mentor is not in it to gain anything. The mentor is in it to help you gain everything. Whatever the mentor says or advises or instructs is intended for your interest. So be again submissive to advice and instruction. Mentor sees your future far beyond what you see. So you got to trust their judgment. Many times they would tell you, don't do this, or don't do that, or do this, or do that, and what they're looking at is 10 years down the street. And they're preparing you for something. So don't ignore their instructions. Number 9, mentees must never take the mentor's advice or criticism personally. Say, son, why are you dressed like that at this occasion? Go home and change your suit. Don't take that personally. He's trying to protect you because he knows that you will be addressed the way you are dressed. And so don't take it personally. A mentor may say, don't come in this room right now, stay out. Don't take it personally. He may be dealing with protocol and you're not invited in that protocol environment. Or he may say to you, you can't come into this reception with me with this president or prime minister, so please wait in the lobby. Don't take it personally. He knows things you don't know. So a mentor will give you instructions that sometimes may make you very uncomfortable. Or they may say things that seem to hurt your feelings. Just trust it and say, that's for my benefit. Whatever he said, that's for my benefit. I'm going to figure it out later, but that hurts right now, but that's for my benefit. Do you remember when Jesus told Peter, you are full of the devil? Guess what? The next meeting, Peter was present. He came back, didn't take it personal. If you are a mentee, you will have moments where the mentor will say things that hurt your feelings. But it's to help you. Very important. So you can't take it personally. This is another point I want to make here. In a moment of anger, a mentor will say something to you. Jesus Christ was angry when Peter said, you will not die. He was attacking the vision. And Christ says, you are full of the devil. Get out of here. And I'm sure he didn't say it nicely. But he was correcting Peter. Peter, never again did Peter touch that vision. So the anger is a part of mentoring because they see you endangering your future and they'll attack that danger and say, don't do that. It's not personal. It's love. Are you clear? Mentoring. The leader wants to teach you a lesson. And many times the mentor will speak in the heat of a moment and you got to handle it, be matured, button up your belt and come back and say thank you. And later on you'll say, wow, now I see what he did that for. So don't despise the anger of your mentor. Yeah. All right. Number 10, mentees must never be jealous of their mentor's success. You know, if you're going to be mentored by someone, it's because they are successful. You cannot learn from someone you are jealous of. You know, after young emerging leaders, they see the life that the mentor has. You know, maybe he's got a jet plane, a nice car, maybe he got a house by the beach, and maybe he's got some money and got some stuff, but you don't know what it cost him. 50 years of tough life ended in an aircraft, and you're jealous over the aircraft. Don't do that. What you do is you ask him questions. What does it cost to get the aircraft? And he'll tell you 20 years of criticism, 5 years of depression, 2 years of being locked out, 10 years of bankruptcy, and you finally get a jet. And you go, I don't want a jet anymore. The price. It's the price. Don't be jealous of anyone. Find out the price. What did they pay? Mentees have a temptation to want to achieve instantly what the mentor got gradually. Now the mentor will give you some things instantly, you know. They can give you their name. And their name is worth a lot. I remember when I first wrote my first book I wrote, I was so reluctant as an author because I didn't figure anyone wanted to read what I had to say. And the publisher said to me, do you know someone, maybe a mentor, who would be willing to put their name on your books? And my number one mentor in my life was Oral Roberts. Personally mentored me. I spent 5 years with him personally. I was appointed to the World Action Committee. Maybe I'm the only person in that committee all his life that was a black person. And I was a student at the time. And he met with us every Tuesday. We met every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. 2 hours. And he talked. There was only like 5 of us. And he talked to us privately in that little room behind the chapel. Locked up with Oral Roberts. 5 years. What a privilege. And then he appointed me missions director after he tested me. And I became director of missions for the whole school. And then he said, mentor someone to take your place. And I did. And here I was with this book. I'm an unknown author. No one knows me. And I sent him the manuscript. I was so afraid, because here is 50 years of tested ministry. I am asking him to give it to me in 50 seconds. I was so humbled by his response. He read the whole manuscript, sent back the most beautiful foreword, and said, I'm proud of you, son. You can have my name. A little note. That first book that I wrote is called Single, Married, Separated, Life After Divorce. It has sold over 1 million copies because of his name. The publishing company said the bookstores, when they saw Oral Roberts' name on it, and by the way, they put his name larger than mine. Why? Because he has the credibility, not me. He was giving me his whole life. Suppose there was error in that book. He was taking a risk. But he knew me. He was my mentor. He still is. He's over 90 years old now. He still calls me his son. When you have a mentor, they can open doors in 1 second that will take you 1,000,000 years. Don't despise mentors. They can save you time and energy, and also make you wealthy. Because my book sold and I got some royalty, believe me. He never asked for anything. He gave me 50 years of his life in 50 seconds. Remember, I wrote John Maxwell and said, look, I have a book on men. I sent it to him. John says, look, you got my name. He wrote it forward. You'll see it on there. One of my books are there on fatherhood. John Maxwell. I wrote another book. I sent it to Fred Price. I said, look, check this out. If you think it's worthy of your name, he gave me his name. There's a book out there with Fred Price's name on it. I do the same thing for many people. Now I give them mine. My name is now valuable. So I now give my name away to many people. You mentor so you can mentor others. It's not about you. It's about who you develop, who you grow. Number 11, mentees must follow instructions even if it demands personal sacrifice. You know, if a mentor tells you to do something, try everything in your power to do it. You know, the person coming after me to talk to you for a few minutes, I chose him to speak after me because he is a good example of a mentee who followed my instructions, who pursued me. Everything I'm talking about, he did. And I'm proud of him because he didn't question my instructions, even when he didn't understand them. He invested money. I'd say, I want you to travel with me to Africa. And he'd say, I'm going to borrow money. And he'd borrow money and buy the ticket to come with me. Why? I ain't buying no ticket for him. He's pursuing me. But I wanted him to experience the vastness of my audience. And when I saw him invest, I was happy to give him a mic. sacrifice. You should go there now and buy every book I have on the table. $200. So what? If you want to be mentored, you got to sacrifice. Mentors make you spend money on yourself, not them. Now be careful now. There's some fellows who claim to be mentors. They want you to buy them rings and buy them clothing. They ain't no mentors. They're fleece professionals. They fleece you. Be careful who you follow. If they want you to make them rich, they're not a mentor. If they want things from you, they are not a mentor. Be careful. And some of you may be following some people who are demanding that you improve them and improve their lifestyle. This is not mentoring. This is abuse. Mentors want nothing from you except your success. The mentee must trust the mentor to the point of obedience. Frightening word, but you just got to obey them because they know more than you. They've been where you plan to go, and they've done what you intend to do. So they'll give you instruction, you just obey it. And this is tough for some people because our pride is so tall, God can't even get above it. Submission is the greatest act of maturity. And number 12, that's the last one. The mentee must be honest in the relationship with the mentor. Be honest. No pretense, please. Don't try to be something before a mentor you are not. They will dismantle you. Don't lie to a mentor. They will eject you. Be open, transparent. Don't misrepresent yourself before a mentor. Don't lack integrity and trying to impress the mentor. Please be honest with a mentor. Tell them what you don't know and your weaknesses and the things you're struggling with, because they can help you. If you're perfect, why do you need a mentor? So no pretense. The mentor can handle your secrets. Can I say it again? A true mentor can handle your secrets. They know how to manage your frailty. They can protect the cracks in your character. Mentors don't use your private information for personal gain. They are there to improve you. So be honest with them. Another reason why you should be honest with a mentor, because the mentor cannot afford to have the precious time that he devotes to you abused. You know, I spent 5 months mentoring you and then find out that what you were doing in secret canceled everything I did. You abused my time. How can God forgive you? Mentoring demands honesty. Very important. Mentors respect mentees. They don't ignore your value. They know you're important. Matter of fact, a mentor will respect a mentee because he decided to be a mentee. That alone makes him respect you. What a mentor can't handle is when you communicate to the mentor that you really don't need him. he backs off, leaves. I love you all, and I wish you the best. If I could take you into my life, I'd give you everything I have. I have no pleasure in you making me great. My greatest joy is you become greater. This is why I work so hard. In spite of people not understanding me, I do this, what I do here, because of you. My greatest legacy should be in the people who exceeded me. Exceeded me. When you become great, powerful, I can die. I want to be just like my mentor, Yeshua. Greater works shall you do. That's what mentorship is about. It's about making you better, greater, more influential, more powerful. Exceed your own expectations. I would love to mentor all of you. And this is rare, but I'm going to make an announcement. You can let the folks on the table know that everyone here today who want to join my mentoring program, you fill out an application today. The mentoring program is like $350 for the whole year. That's for the whole year. If you sign up today, I'm going to tell them to deduct $50, and then you only pay half today, and the program will begin. You might be a pastor, a great, successful person, I don't know. But if there's something that you see in me that you would like to learn, then I am a potential mentor to you. Yeah. I can multiply what you're doing overnight, just like that. Just by my access. So sometimes the person you are jealous of could be your greatest blessing.